There are still many shortcomings in organizing this event, in the presentation of event, administrative service, and limited facility. For that, we apologize profusely for this shortage. Finally, I hope seminar participants will benefit greatly from this activity so they can create a good research atmosphere and strong, sustainable and quality research culture and coordinate the development of computer science, engineering, and technology. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.
Thank you, Mrs. Nia Restiana, for the welcoming speech. And continuing to our next speech, I would like to invite Director of Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya, Dr. Ahmad Ali Daud MA, to deliver his welcoming speech. And afterward, we would like to request him to officially open the third International Conference on Computer Science, Engineering, and Technology 2020. Time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable distinguished guests, Vice Rector Vice and Vice Rector 2 of Universitas of Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya, the Honorable of all of guys, all keynote speakers, all rector, and the chairman of higher education as a co-host of this conference, all of participants, and all of committees. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, wa syukrulillah, wa la hawla wa la quwata illa billah. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man tabi'ah. Amma ba'du. 15 centuries ago, Allah gave 4 messages for us as a form of His love, or Ar-Rahman, namely, 1. Maintaining religion. 2. Maintaining humans. 3. Maintaining and developing science and technology. And 4. Maintaining the universe. The long of history of development of science and technology has left a number of wastes that have a negative impact of human life, including environmental damage in it. In this modern age, environmental issues has become one of the sexist issues. Global warming, climate change, and climate change, as well as universal human values, are of concern to the world community. The World Organization has shifted its development orientation from Millennium Development Goals to Sustainability Development Goals. In the Sustainability Development Goals, the orientation toward the environment is getting stronger and more totality. Today's international conference with the theme Green Technology for Better Life is part of the awareness of the international community. Our participation at the conference today is very meaningful for the development of science and technology that is in line with religious value, humanity, and preservation of the universe. Therefore, I would like to express my gratitude to all the keynote speakers, participants, university rector, and high school heads, all committees, and all of us for the synergy and participation. May Allah the Merciful give blessing to all of us. Finally, wishing him his blessing and mercy, let us officially open this event by saying Basmallah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you for all of you. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for the great welcoming speech. Ladies and gentlemen, to close the opening ceremony with the blessings, I would like to invite Vice Rector of Financial Affairs, Oni Syahroni MSc, to lead the dua recitation and a moment of silence.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Hamdan syakirin, hamdan naimin, hamdan yuwafi nima'ahu wa yukafi majidah. Ya Rabbana lakal hamdu kama yang bagi li jalali wajhikal adimi sultani. Allahumma sholli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Allahumma Rabbana taqabbal minna sholatana wa siyamana wa ruku'ana wa sujudana wa qu'udana wa tadarru'ana wa takhassu'ana wa ta'abbudana wa tatmim taksiruna ya Allah ya Rabbal Alamin. Rabbana dolamna anfusana wa illam taghfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna minal khasirin. Rabbana la tu'ahidna in nasina aw ahtana. Rabbana wa la tahmil alaina isran kama hamaltahu 'alal ladzina min qablina. Rabbana wa la tuhamilna ma la taqata lana bih. Wa'fu anna waghfir lana warhamna anta maulana fansurna 'alal qaumil kafirin. Rabbana la tuzigh qulubana ba'da id hadaitana wa hab lana min ladunka rahmah innaka antal wahhab. Rabbana ighfir lana wa liwalidina wa li jami'il muslimina wal muslimat wal mu'minina wal mu'minat al ahya'i minhum wal amwat innaka ala kulli syai'in qadir. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Amin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Excellent, distinguished guests, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen. This is the end of the opening ceremony of the third International Conference on Computer Science, Engineering and Technology 2020. It means that we come to the main agenda that we are waiting for, the presentation of conference topic that will be delivered by all keynote speakers. Fortunately, we will have 4 professional keynote speakers today, which is each speaker will have 30 minutes for presentation, and it will be divided into 2 sessions. In the first session, we will have Professor Madya Dr. Puspaliza binti Ghazali and Muhammad Effendi Muhammad, PhD. Both of them are from University Sultan Zainal Abidin, Malaysia. Let me greet them first. I believe they are now online with us. Hello, good morning, Professor Puspaliza. Say hello, please.
Hello. Hello.
All right, thank you very much for your attendance, Prof. Next, in the first session, we will have Muhammad Effendi Muhammad, PhD. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mr. Effendi. Are you online with us? Hello. Good morning, Mr. Effendi. All right, maybe we will see Mr. Effendi later. And then, in the second session, we will have Professor Dr. Sundarabandian Vijayanathan from Velteh University, India, and Professor Dr. Anna Permanasari MSc from Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia. Okay, then, so today we will have a great presentation from keynote speakers, and in the last presentation of each session, we will have question and answer session, which is each speaker has 10 minutes to answer the audience questions. So if you have a question during presentation, please feel free to leave the question in the chat box, then I'll bring them up in the discussion session. Don't forget to write your name, your institution, and to which speaker you address your question. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now we can begin the first session. Moving right along, it is now my pleasure to introduce our first keynote speaker, Professor Madya Dr. Puspaliza binti Ghazali from University Sultan Zainal Abidin, Malaysia. She is research lecturer in University Sultan Zainal Abidin, Malaysia. Her area of expertise is financial mathematics. She accomplished her PhD in University Terengganu, Malaysia. And now, please welcome Professor Madya Dr. Puspaliza Binti Ghazali to deliver her presentation. You have 30 minutes, ma'am. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much to the MC. Uh, this is the first time I attend the conference by using the Zoom because before this I just attend the conference face to face. Now it's by using the Zoom. It's quite weird to me. I think this is the first time. But anyway, I like to join with the conference ICComSET every year. First time in the Tasikmalaya in Hotel Senetica. I also was there. It's a very nice moment with the dance from the folks of the Tasikmalaya. I really enjoyed it that time. And second time is I also attend in this ICComSET for the second time in Tangerang last year. Okay, from the Tangerang, I introduced the new of the formula for the unit trust because mostly Malaysians have the unit trust from the government. They call ASB, Amanah Saham Bumi Putra. So mostly the Malaysians we have this kind of unit trust because it's organized by government. You can save the money every day for this unit trust. So what happened for this unit trust? Mostly they just got a little bit for their profit. So I contribute for the new formulations in the unit trust. In the unit trust, I contribute the new formulations for the in Tangerang. So today I give the questionnaire to everybody who have this kind of unit trust. They got unit trust for banks like Holion, HMBC for unit trust, also public bank in Malaysia. So I give the questionnaire whether they like or not for this kind of new formula. That's why the title for today for my presentation is analysis of the acceptance of the newly constructed mathematical model for Islamic unit trust among public. So that what among public, I give this formula whether public like it or not. Okay. That so this can you give me the slide? For this conference, I simplified. We got 5 items. First, introductions. Second is literature review. Third is methodology that I use. Fourth is result and discussion. The last one is conclusion for this paper for the as a keynote. Okay. First thing, we go to the introductions. What is a unit trust? Because unit trust is very important nowadays. I mean, in Malaysia, it's very important because that is the way how we want to get money. We to get money, demand for money, more money. Okay. So unit trust have divided by 3. One is collective investment scheme. So there is an investment scheme which the investor who share same financial objective. So they want financial objective is want to get more money. Investment strategy and risk will invest money into this fund. So these funds are invested in diverse portfolio or Sharia approval by financial asset. Why unit trust is very important and very popular in Malaysia? First, they give the profit, more profit compared to the fixed deposit. and also is halal because it's Sharia compliant. And the third thing is there are less risk, very low risk compared to the share, like the stock exchange is very high risk, but this is a low risk to get money. That's why it's very popular in Malaysia because they halal and then they got profit, and also they will get they also have low risk. That's why it's very famous. Okay, for the second slide. The Islamic principle they apply in Islamic unit trust. Okay, they got two things. There is mudarabah and other one is musyarakat. Mudarabah is something you join venture as a share partner in the company. If I take Mudarabah scheme, it's a share partner to get profit, and I as the referee as the third party, which is a unit holder, small unit holder, and the profit is divided between unit holder and also company by according the agreement. Okay, how much I will get the profit, and also the share, the company will get also the profit. How much is depend on agreement. But musyarakah is different. Two or more financial engage in new project. So participant in established project, all the partner right to share the profit from the venture in the agreement. And they have the one manager who manage the fund. The fund in musyarakah. So the manager which give we serve for us, and they give us a service charge. How much the service charge is depend on the agreement also. So it's different. Mudarabah is like you share partner and then you as a unit holder. But masyarakat, you give the money and when as an investor, but you got one manager who control, manage the fund to get profit and the share. Then we have to pay for the manager fee for the service. Okay, they got two type. So go for the third slide. The third slide is Islamic unit trust. So Islamic unit trust fund are allocated in authorized investment approved by Security Commission as well as Sharia board. So they allocate the fund. They allocate the fund by Sharia board according to approval by Security Commissioner, the shareholder. And also from there, we got profit distribution. Is share after deducting management fee, like I told you just now, is like now is manager, there is management fee, and also paying the zakat. Mostly in Malaysia, for Islamic unit trust, they don't deduct for the zakat, except the tabun haji in Malaysia. But our as a personal have the responsibility to pay the zakat by our own. It's not deduct directly. Except for tabung haji, they are deduct the profit and everything. They deduct already the zakat according to tabung haji. Tabung haji is not a fund. It's like a saving. Okay. For there is for literature review. So we got a few literature review. Wahab ETLL 2018. How they calculate by using mathematics? They use the average lower balance concept. That means in 1 year you get the lower balance. That is the lower balance they take it as for the percentage to get the profit. And the second one, Wahab, like they distribute the profit distribution, but the investor need to pay the zakat by their own, not the company deduct for them. Okay, Ghazali ETLL 2002, 2012 A, B, C, D, 2015, 2017, 2019A, and 2019B. Ghazali ETLL is my surname for my publication in Scopus. So I introduced the integration model can be used in order to modify the existing model, because the existing model is give less profit to the customer or client. So I create a new existing model is more comfortable, it's more better product. Proof that the integration model is more exclusive for the client to earn more money for the future, because we have to make money. For money, make money. So I think it's better than because mostly client receive very low profit. That's why I create this one is integration model. Okay, according to Division 2014, by using Keynesian approach, that means demand for money. That I say, Division made a theory that is money make money. Make money is important holding money for the precaution, transaction, and speculative purpose. That's why we call money make money by Division. By Saleh and Zakaria 2018, they developed the takaful demand. That means why people need takaful? Because by using takaful, they can saving everything. So the money and also the participant also is give the protection. That's why it's very important in the Islamic. Also, they are combined with the takaful to save more thing according to the participant. Okay, for the next slide is about I review back about that I have been present in the Tangerang, because the over here the audience we ask us what the new dividend of Islamic unit trust formulation. So I repeat back, dividend of the year as equation as follow: PH minus PL. H is the higher principal that year. PL is the lowest principal. I think that is quite fair. Last time they just the lowest one. So I take the range. Times RI. RI is the monthly dividend from first month until 11 month. That means from January to November, they take the dividend. That is a monthly. Plus PH plus PL over 2 times IO. That means they take the average for the principal time the dividend according the year, the rate of dividend per year, that current year. And minus PH plus PL minus 2 times RZ. RZ is the ratio for the zakat. So they already minus for the zakat already for this kind of formula. So this I create this kind of formula for easy to get more payment, and then you have to bother about zakat. Okay, and continue for the next slide. Many students and so people who read my article, they ask me what is TI. So I want to say TI is the submissions of each month from January until November in the current year. That means T1 is the first year divided by 12. We got 12 months. Plus T2 over 12. That is the second month. Until T11 over 12. That is for the 11 month. So first month we put is 1 over 12. Second month plus 2 over 12 until plus 11 over 12. Why I stop for 11? Because for 11 you get the monthly profit. When I put 12 over 12, that is for yearly profit, because that is already a year. So you get it plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 until plus 11, you got 66. That's why 66 over 12. Okay, according to the RZ in the percentage of zakat payment is 2.5. That is a zakat percentage. This study consider the example of transactions Shaki ASB account. Okay, we can look ASB account. The transaction of ASB account in the table 5.0 as follow. Okay, so we got balance from January until November, and the last balance is the last balance is in November. So we got what the lowest one and the highest one. Lowest one is 13,000, and the highest one 14,900. That is the highest one for that year. Okay, next slide. Okay, how we calculate it? So the highest one that I told you just now, 14,900 minus 30,000 times 7%, because that year 7% times 66 over 12. That is until November. They got the profit per month, every month, and then plus for yearly 14,900 plus 13,000 over 2 times 7%. So minus the zakat. The zakat, because that's why times 2.5%. So we get the dividend is 1,359.25 cents. It's very high, because if we use the SAT model, the client only get only 800 or 900 only with the 7%. Now you got 1,359.25 cents. Some people ask me, is it the company like this formula or not? Of course, from the company will not happy with this form, because the customer will get more. But they must know. They also told me, with the higher profit, many people will invest more, because they get more, so they will invest more. So the company also get more money in their fund. Okay. So next slide is methodology. Okay, I give the questionnaire for reliability test. Reliability test is about the questionnaire whether it's reliability or not to 100 respondents in Kuala Terengganu, to get whether the questionnaire is reliability or not, to get more all over the district of Terengganu. So 100 respondents I give to get the reliability test. After that, I go to the field study. All the district in Terengganu got 8 districts. So I give 250 respondents. The respondent unit of analysis is the unit of shareholder of the unit trust. I don't care about whatever unit trust, whether it's from ASB, from Holiong, from HMBC unit trust, or from the public bank. Okay. Next slide. Okay, to find the sufficient statistic of surveying, so we also get their background, their biography. I have to know age, gender, marital status, race, level of education, income per month, and place for investment. Okay, I also get the demography. From that, they have to answer the question. They got 10 Likert scale. One I put is strong disagree. 10 is a strongly agree for the questionnaire. So they got 4 sections in the questionnaire. The questionnaire is adapted from the previous study. One from Baka 2016, Amin ETR 2011, Azi ETR 2018, and Chun ETR 2013 to suit the local context. So the questionnaire is about 4 variables, 1 variable for dependent variable, and other 3 for independent variable. So I give it to pilot test After the pilot test, I give to the survey field, the whole Terengganu. Okay. For next slide, we go for the hypothesis. Okay. Hypothesis, there are 3 hypotheses that I want to achieve in this research, because I'm the research lecturer. Knowledge of Islamic unit trust has a significant correlation with the acceptance of new model. Second hypothesis, profit distribution of Islamic unit trust also have the significant correlation of the acceptance. And the third hypothesis, integrated with the takaful, has significant correlation of the acceptance of new model in trust. So they got knowledge of unit trust, profit, and integrated takaful. There is the independent variable. Acceptance of new model of Islamic unit trust is a dependent variable. Okay, that is the hypothesis. Okay, the fourth one is result and discussion. We got 3 things in our result. First is reliability analysis, that is for pilot test. Normality analysis for the field study, and also for correlation analysis also in the field study. We can see the correlation whether it supported our thesis or not. Okay, go to next slide. Okay, reliability test. We got acceptance of new model, that is a dependent variable, 0.9 for cross-border alpha. Knowledge Islamic unit trust, 0.7. Profit distribution, 0.9. Integrated takaful, 0.9. So we get all more than 0.5. If more than 5, the questionnaire is has reliability to give in study. Next slide. Okay, the next slide is normality analysis. Because in normality analysis, whether they have the normal graph or not the normal graph. Because if they have the normal graph, we have to make correlation Pearson. But the not normal graph, we have to go to another correlation is called Spearman. So we can see P value of homologous statistic of output acceptance of new model is less than 0.05. This is homologous 0.011. So it's less than 0.5. This is show that the data collected for this value assumption of normality distribution. They got the normality distribution by using the homologous. So we can see if the data less than 0.5 is not normal. That means it's not normal. The graph maybe skews to the left or skew to the right. It's not have the normality. If the not normality, so we use the non-parametric technique to be used to find the correlations, non-parametric. But it's normal, we use parametric is a Pearson correlation. But in my case, we use the non-parametric technique to for calculate to see the correlation between independent and also independent variable. Next slide. Okay, because they are non-parametric, so we use the Spearman correlation correlation coefficient because they are normal. So acceptance new model of Islamic is 1 because are dependent variable. So knowledge we got 0.5, profit distribution 0.5, integrated with takaful 0.6. So knowledge and profit there is moderate correlation. The strategy is moderate correlation. Integrated with takaful is strong correlation. That means the acceptance acceptance of this model from the public is more than moderate, above moderate. So maybe the client, the respondent is quite not normal about the formula, but they can understand the knowledge, the profit, and integrated. They also accepted in the moderate correlations. This is a good for the beginning of the formula. Okay. Next slide. Since all the correlation on 3 dependent variable and single dependent variable are more than 0.4. So it can be said that all the 3 hypotheses were accepted. So they are support the hypothesis, 3 hypotheses, because the result is more than 0.4. Parents, this shows that public is accepting the new constructed model. This model of the unit trust has been accepted in Terengganu. This also shows this new constructed model will give participants will get participant among public if ever in the market, and if introduced in the market, it will be accepted by the public. Okay. So the last slide. Hello. Last slide, please, for the conclusion. Okay, we got 3 conclusions. Based on correlation result, it can be concluded that the public accepted this new constructed model. So I told you just now, public has been accepted because it's more than 2.4. Second one, this new model was constructed in order to see the criterion of Islamic unit trust, which must be in line with Shariah's law and need to follow the process operation well. So this model is Shariah compliant. And the last one, the acceptance of public on the model show that the awareness of public on having an investment fund, which is Shariah compliant. There is the last thing, the public is awareness for investment. Where they want investment, they must got more profit, more money. So that's why the public accept this model. Okay, I think this model has been made in Terengganu. For the next research, I will be doing the research through all the Malaysia. We got 14 states. So Terengganu is one state. We got 30 states more. If all this questionnaire, whether people like it or not. If the acceptance is like this, is all better than this, I think the will be in marketing one day. Maybe the Indonesia also like this kind of formula or model. They also can use in also their users. I think that's all for me. Assalamualaikum, and thank you very much for inviting me as a keynote speaker from Malaysia. Yes.
Well, thank you very much for the great presentation about analysis of the acceptance of newly constructed mathematical model for Islamic unit trust among public. And for the audience, if you are interested in that topic and have many questions about it, please share your ideas or questions in the chat box. Then we will discuss it in the end of the second presentation. So, Prof. Puspaliza, I hope you don't mind to wait for a while. Is it okay, Prof?
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Puspaliza. So, ladies and gentlemen, now let me introduce to our next keynote speaker, Muhammad Effendi Muhammad, PhD, from University Sultan Zainal Abidin, Malaysia. I hope Mr. Effendi has joined with us now. Good morning,
Yes.
Mr.
Good
Effendi.
morning. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. All right, so Mr. Effendi has online with us. I'm pleased to introduce him. He is a lecturer at University Sultan Zainal Abidin, Malaysia. He took his PhD in mathematical cryptography, University Putra, Malaysia. He has published 120 journal articles, 4 book chapters, 6 conference proceedings, and 4 awards. In 2019, he has 2 awards. They are Gold Medal MPI and Gold Medal ITEX. In 2008, he has Gold Medal ITX, and in 2017, he has Bronze Medal MPI. Well, that's great, sir. And also, he has 3 intellectual property. They are Intelligent Mosquito Home System, Mask Marrier and University Course, and Examination Timetabling System. All right, without further ado, I'm honored to invite His Excellency Mohammed Effendi Mohammed PhD to deliver his presentation entitled Revisiting the Information Security Model. Time is yours. You have 30 minutes here.
Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Effendi Muhammad. I'm from the University of Sultan Zainal Abidin, from the up north of Malaysia. And first of all, I would like to thank the organizing committee of ICComSET for having me here today. And I'm very happy and I'm very grateful to have this experience to be able to join this conference. Do I need to share my slide myself, or because I do not see my slides on the web? Do I have to do it myself, or you will do it for me? Hello? Do I have to share my slides, or you will share my slides?
Yes, you may share your slide.
Okay, because of that, give me a few minutes. Yeah, I could open it from here. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Okay, I think now my slides already online. So shall I start now?
Yes, we can see the slide.
Okay, thank you. Okay, again, my topic of my speech today will be about the information security models. What's so important about the model, basically, before we can come out with any types of solution, we normally should think about the model as a tool that from which we can figure how can we understand the problems. Right? I mean, we have a model, we try to understand the problem from the model, and from there we come out with solutions. So speaking of information security models, information security is a very, very large area of studies, of research. I think we all know that information security is being a part of the IR 4.0. And to me, information security is like the heart of IR 4.0, because if you don't secure your network, how can you communicate? How can people trust you, especially if you are offering services like online banking, for example, or online shopping, if customer cannot trust you, they will not get involved in your business. So information security is one thing that I think very, very important nowadays, especially when we talk about communication over the internet. So to go forward, I will start with the very basics of informations. Information is actually something that stays be inside of data, because data is the very most fundamental. Everything that flows from one computer to another are all datas, one and zeros. They are all datas. But some of the data which has relevance and purpose, we call them informations, right? And some of these informations, it is known as knowledge, as well as on top of knowledge, they have wisdom. This is the very basic or very classical model that we have from the philosophical point of view. So believe it or not, I mean, this is the hypothesis that we may come across if we read some books. It says that information is power, and they who control the information and its flow control the world. I mean, whether you believe it or not, whether I believe it or not, I think there's some trueness in this. For example, let's just talk about America, right? Every data that flows into the internet will go through America because they control the DNS and everything, right? So, and we see that America is the most powerful country in the world right now. So to some extent, I think this hypothesis is true. And for that reason, information is very, very important. However, there are some characteristics of information that we have to retain in order to make it relevant, to make it useful. For example, information has to be accurate. Information has to be timely. It has to be complete. It has to be verifiable. It has to be consistent. If we cannot maintain these 5 different characteristics or properties of information, then our information will not be useful. Why not useful? Maybe from that wrong or misinformation will make a very, very wrong decision, which could cause a lot of damage. So in that case, these are the characteristics that are very, very important for information to be useful. And okay, information life cycle. Information is a thing, right? Just like us. We were born from very small to very big and become old, right? So information has a state, right? After some created information, information can be whether in a storage, for example, we store information in a database, or information can be processed somewhere in a CPU, or information also can be transmitted from a computer to another. So these are the 3 different states where information can take place. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's either on a database or either on the networks or maybe in a CPU. These are the 3 different states for informations to be. And how actually do we use information, right? I mean, before we can use information, information has to be gathered. How do we gather information? Maybe one, from our observations, right? As a researcher, normally you do observe things. Right? We observe things and then we try to gather information from that. Next one, through investigations, especially when you talk about police or military, they normally investigate things. They try to gather information, or sometimes they call it intelligence gathering from the military perspective. And the other one is by understanding. If we read some books, if we read some research paper, then most likely we will understand something from that. And these are the way how we can gather information, right? So after we gather information, normally we're going to share information. If we keep our information to ourselves, most likely our information is not very much useful, I think, right? Normally we have to share. That's why the internet is there, for sharing information. But then if you want to share information, there are some procedures that has to be followed. I mean, from the provider or from the consumer, right? Otherwise, there could happen one thing called misinformation. Like I said, if misinformation happens, then decision may not be the correct one, may not be the best one, right? Okay, information can be made useful by converting into knowledge and intelligence. From the classical model, we have seen that information, some of the information can be converted into knowledge, right? As well as intelligence in this case. So this diagram shows that informations at the very beginning can be transformed to knowledge, and from this knowledge we can create wealth. How do we do that? We heard about pattern, right? I mean, I'm giving you an example, right? Let's say you are a researcher, then you manage to have good finding on something, you try to pattern your findings, and then from your patterns, and maybe there's some big company in the world who are interested to buy your patterns, and you're gonna get a lot of money from that. This is one of the way how we can transform information to knowledge and to dollars. In fact, if we look at information as a knowledge, information is actually a national or corporate or individual resource. I mean, it belongs to somebody, right? And it is associated surely with real financial costs. By looking into the picture on the right side here, information is transferable to information right, knowledge, wealth, and wealth creation. These are the possible ways of transforming information into, right? By correct use, for sure, we can make a lot of money when we have transformed information to knowledge. Another one is we try to transform information into intelligence, right? What do we use intelligence for? Like I say, normally intelligence is used within military purpose, right? Intelligence gathering. You heard about intelligence gathering, where the military or the spies, they go out somewhere, different countries, try to gather intelligence, and then from that intelligence, they will make decisions. So on the second part, information is used in the process of decision making, right? So basically, if we look into the picture on the right side here, we have seen how actually the information can be transformed into intelligence, and after we transform into the intelligence, we will deliver this intelligence to the maybe highest ranking in the military, so that this person can make the very best decision for a nation state, right? But be careful that information has to bear certain characteristics that we have discussed before, so that we could avoid from making a wrong decision. Because a nation state decision is very big. It's not like our individual decision, right? It could cause war. It could cause a country to wage war against another one, against another nation state. So information as an intelligence, if you are more interested into this, there is a study called information warfare. I mean, they will discuss a lot about information as intelligence. Next one is, and now we're going to dive into what is information security. I mean, previously we talked about information. We want to know what information is, how can it be useful. But then now we try to look into the information security before we begin to, come out with a model, right? Okay, basically, information security is the act or the process of protecting or securing information. You have information, right? And then you think your information is valuable. For example, as an individual, if I'm a PhD student, I would think that my thesis inside my computer is something I don't want to lose. If somebody break into my computer and steal it or delete it, it's going to be very, very hard for me. So I try to protect it. I try to protect it using maybe firewalls, or I'm going to use some antivirus or something. So this is about it. This is about securing, but it's not only about technical, it's also from the managerial part. I mean, whenever we want to secure it. So definitions, information security concerned with the protections of valuable assets, information assets, of course, against unauthorized disclosure, transfer, modification, or accurate, right? So if it is not accurate, there could happen misinformations later on. And it could happen whether accidental or intentional by different threat agents for different reasons. Bear in mind that in 2017, I have a newspaper online saying that the world's most valuable resource is no longer oil, but data. So now we understand how much important is information security. If the data is the most valuable thing in the world, then of course we have to protect it, right? There's no question whether we need to protect or not. Okay, I just want to give you a big picture about information security. On the rightmost side, we have asset. This is basically our information and whatever items or element that is related to the information here. This is what we want to secure. And as an owner, right, as an owner, I would impose, various countermeasures depending on how much money I want to spend just to reduce the risk of threat to my asset. Because here we have a threat agent, for example, hackers or crackers or vandals, they try to manifest threat, which will increase risk to our asset. At the same time, the threat will exploit vulnerability, and if they success to compromise our asset, for example, our computer, then basically they will have our informations. So this picture shows the relations of our information asset to other item which is closely related to our asset, just to get some ideas of how basically these things are related. This is very useful because if you want to design a model, if you want to come out with a solution, then we have to understand the whole picture of our system, of our problems. So by doing this, we have some good ideas of what really includes, what really closely related to our assets here. So, okay, I'm going to go through slowly each and every entity that we have seen from the figure I've shown you just now. First, I want to talk about owner. Who actually owns the information? Basically, information's owner can be grouped or can be categorized into 3 different groups. First, the individual, like you and me. At home we have computer. Inside our computer, we have information, right? I don't know information about anything, information about your credit cards. Maybe you have stored in your computer's cache, or maybe you got some password in the password files from your Google's software. And on the second one is the organizations. Organization also has information. For example, the place where we work, right? Or the corporate, the industry, right? For example, our university, they have some information about staffing, about our telephone numbers, sorry, about our address, right? This information are pretty much private to ourselves and can only be shared with our organizations, and it shouldn't be published elsewhere. So these are the types of informations that may be owned by an organization, which should be put in a very secret place so that no one can, no known unauthorized user who will be able to read it, for example. And the biggest one is the nation states, the country. For example, Malaysia, for example, Indonesia. Right? So in a nation state, we have agencies like the police or the military or the hospitals, right? All these agencies, they have information about very important secret. For example, a military secret, military operation, they have secrets. What happened here, what happened there, right? So these are the types of information that needs to be secure, right? So now we understand that we have three different groups of owner. From there, we want to define what exactly the assets. I mean, owner must have an asset. Okay, what actually is an asset? An asset can be anything which has value to an organization. For example, other than data, what we have? Computer hardware or computer software. We have people. We have our staff. Our staff is also an asset to our company. Without a staff, a company, a corporation, an organization will not run. And documentation is also an asset. Maybe we have policy, we have procedures, standards, guidelines. Those are assets to our company, our organization. And we do not want to have this asset to be stolen because it is meant to our organization, right? If somebody can steal it, maybe they will get some ideas of how to come back and steal more information from us. So asset protection is not just about safeguarding asset, information asset, right? We also have to safeguard people, hardware, software, documentations, right? Other than data alone, other than information alone, right? If we only care about information, then most likely it's going to be very easy for example, hackers to come into our house or come into our computer and steal our information. For that reason, we have to safeguard not only information, but also our computer, our networks, and so on and so on. So from the perspective of information, we can divide into three different forms. First, we have our information in paper, right? Such as a policy. Normally, policy is a document which is written on the paper or get published on laboratory doors of how to use computer in universities laboratory, for example, or maybe in the disk, or even our employees, actually, our physical forms of information. And then when we go up next one level, we have a logical form, which is the forms of computer files, Microsoft Words, or maybe the PDF. And on the topmost level, we have what is called the perceptual form. This is more of something that exists in your mind, right? Your ideas, your views, your patterns, right? Perceptual normally is not considered under information security. Sometimes it is only considered in information warfare, but I put it here just to make sure that it seems to be complete here. I mean, we have all three. But perceptual is very important. It's very important and it's very interesting because if you can change somebody's view towards any issues, then basically you have made a good success to how you can change someone's feeling towards something. For example, I'm going to give you an example, right? I mean, people say that one man terrorist is another man freedom fighter. I'm going to give you an example, Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden to America is considered as a terrorist, but maybe to Sudanese, he's considered as a freedom fighter. So what Americans doing by showing that Osama bin Laden is a terrorist on TV, they try to change our view, right? So that we think, so that our kids think that, oh, Osama bin Laden is actually a terrorist. But to some people, it's a freedom fighter. He fight from people who try to steal their wealth from their country, right? So I'm just giving some idea what perceptual is all about. Okay, let's get on. So, I mean, if we're going to categorize asset, where we have data assets, we have procedures, we have software, we have hardware, and we have networks. And throughout all these circle, we have people. People can sit anywhere. You can sit on the network, or in front of a computer, or pressing button on the software, right? Or maybe communicating with the data. So basically, these are the information assets. Something that we will have to secure, right? We are not only securing data, but we also secure these other five elements of assets, which very closely related to our data. Okay, this picture shows how our infrastructure relates to, let's say, for example, military and political science, industry, commodities, intangible networks. In other words, infrastructure do support other businesses, and in order to secure all other businesses, one part of this is to secure infrastructure, and at the same time, securing infrastructure is like securing assets, right? Networks, software, hardware, they're all infrastructures, right? Elements of infrastructure. So basically, we cannot run from securing this. Okay, next one is threat agent. Well, what is actually threat agents? Threat agents, actually, those parties that would seek to make threat manifest, is actually more or less a person who can manifest threat, right? And normally we can categorize threat agent into three. One, natural causes like fire, floods, power failures. And the other two are unintentional threat agent and intentional threat agent. Unintentional threat agent is something that happens without intention. Right? For example, you walk through a computer service room, and then maybe you unintentionally kick some of the plugs and pull it out, something like that. So it was done unintentionally. But the biggest problem is with the intentional threat agents, right? This is the biggest problem that world is facing right now, because we have read a lot of hackers or a lot of crackers trying to make a lot of money out of the world, and then this is a new trend now, because stealing on the internet is pretty safe comparing to stealing physically when we have to go into someone's house and steal it, right? So then there's even more money on the internet comparing to someone's house. Okay, threats. What is threat? Threat is actually a potential that can cause harm by violating security, and we could classify threats into 4 different types of threats, which is called 1, interruptions, 2, interceptions, another, modifications, and the 4th one is fabrication. These are the 4 types of threats that, or events, threat events that could cause changes to the characteristic of our information. So these are the events that we have to avoid from happening to our information. Okay, what is vulnerability? Some weaknesses of a system that could allow security to be violated. Vulnerability is like if we have a Windows in our home and the window is not locked, there is no lock there. So we could consider that window as vulnerability. I mean, a place where thieves could easily get into our house. So from this vulnerability, a threat agent can easily exploit our systems, right? Normally, for example, in your computer, in a computer server, you open some ports which is not useful for your organization. Then this port is considered as a channel where hackers can easily break into your system or compromise your systems. Information crime. Information crime is nothing new. I mean, it has started like maybe in the early 80s, something like that. But at the time, we didn't hear about it because information crime was like it didn't happen a lot even in my countries. But I mean, in the 80s, normally it took place in developed countries like America or in Europe. But now information crime is nothing new to us. I mean, after 20, 30 years, I think mostly every month we hear about scams or information stealing. And information crime is one way of making a lot of money, because if you live somewhere in Papua New Guinea or if you live in Timbuktu, you can steal money from banks somewhere in New York or somewhere in London, right? And it's pretty much safe because it's far away, and then it took some time for the police, for the international police to come and catch you. You have time to run away. Criminals normally they have what they call it modus operandi. This is how they work, right? And modus operandi back in 1980s it was very simple, but now because of the evolutions in modus operandi, it seems that the sophistication, the experience, and the confidence of hackers or criminals is increasing over time. Because, for example, the first time you do something, maybe we don't really have a lot of confidence. We don't really know a lot, right? But I mean, if you have done it a few times, you can read some books now, because in ethical hacking is also written in books, so people can learn about hacking from there, irrespective whether you want to do something bad after that or not. But I mean, it's something that you can learn. I mean, you have underground forums and stuff, and then I mean, if you want to do something bad, you can always learn from other people. So the sophistication make it very, very difficult, especially for the police to try to track down these digital criminals. And the modus operandi function to serve one or more of the purpose that we have here. I mean, for example, the modus operandi we will have certain characteristics to protect the offender's identity. Normally, hackers, after they have done some bad things to your computer, they will try to burn down the trace so that nobody can know who actually was inside the computer. And another thing is that hackers, they will normally they will complete their crimes nicely, smoothly, so that they will not leave any trace. For internet crimes, MO behavior includes, for example, amount of planning before times. This is very important, right? And it's nothing different from physical crime. I mean, normally a thief, they will not just go into someone's house. They will study. They will study their victims, right? And then, secondly, material used in the commission of an offense. For example, software. They will choose the right software to exploit the right vulnerabilities, right? Pre-surveillance on potential victims. Okay, I mean, you will study about your, let's say you want to hack a company. You will study about your company's administrator, about company's DNS, about company's servers, and so on and so forth. And then number 4, offense location selection. Maybe if you're targeting somebody, right? Maybe you're not just targeting somebody. You will target some organization or somebody who you think you can easily break into, right? So it's a choice as well. I mean, locations. Use of weapon during crimes. For example, you're going to use a virus or Trojan horse or SQL injection, for example. I mean, we have a lot of tools, right? And offenders precautionary act, use of alias or IP spoofing, just to make sure that as a criminal, our identity will be covered, will not be revealed to especially the police, for example. So these are the items that is normally included into modus operandi, because the hackers will not only want to success in stealing, they will also want to be success in not being able to be traced by the government or the police. IS criminal normally exhibit certain characteristics, and they can be grouped into three. Information security criminals, normally we can group into three. I mean, this is a very general groups. One is called crackers, normally are teenagers who look for intellectual challenge. Nowadays, we heard about crimes committed by, I don't know, teenagers, 18 years old, computer criminals. So, I mean, they're not looking for money per se. I mean, I think they're looking more into challenge. I mean, they try to learn some hacking from people underground through the underground channels, and then they try to do some bad things. Just test whether, okay, it works, something like that. And then we also have criminals. These are the person who want to make money out of it, whether they work for the government agencies or maybe they work for the organized crimes. So for this group of people, their target will be either money or want to get some intelligence gathering for certain nation states. And the next one, the last one, is the vandals. Vandals normally they got motivated by anger. For example, if I work for a company and then I expect I'm gonna get a raise in my salary and then I didn't get a raise, so maybe I try to retaliate. I mean, I want to do something back so that it's sort of pay back to the company that I work in, and then it's gonna cause a lot of damage to the company. Each of this group has their own profile based on organizational, operational, behavioral, and resources. So from crackers, criminals, and vandals, we can categorize them into how they operate, how they behave, and what kind of resource they use. So from these, normally these properties or characteristics were used by government agencies like police whenever they want to track down hackers, right? I mean, they try to narrow down. I mean, maybe in a nation state, you could have 100 or maybe 1,000 hackers, right? So how do you narrow down if some compromise takes place? You try to narrow down which group of hackers may have committed a crime, and these are the types of categories or that has been used by the police to narrow down their possible suspects. So information crime, how does it work? I mean, I think we have somehow talked about it. I mean, how it works really. First of all, during the phase one, the criminal will identify their target. Right? On the second phase, the criminal will gather intelligence on their target, and then they decide whether they want to proceed with the break-in or not, right? So in the end, whether it's successful or not, right? So these are basically, this is the very basic steps of what hackers will actually do whenever they want to start their bad things, right? Bad job. So they will study their target, and they will gather some information, then they will decide whether they should proceed or not. If the risk is too high, then maybe they will not proceed. So now we're trying to model our information security. So first of all, I'm going to show you this picture. I mean, we have a big house, very rich people have a lot of goals in the storage down the cellar, and then on the outer layer we have a security guards taking care of this big mansion, right? So nothing is different to information security. Goals is considered as information assets, and we have a house which is considered something like your computer, your laptop, your mobile phones, and we have security guards here which is taking care of the perimeter, and we have a network here, right? So from the perspective of security dimension, we can I mean, I try to make it easy to understand, so I divide information security dimension into three. First, the information asset itself, because we have different assets. So basically, we have different type of assets and with different characteristics. So for sure, these different assets will require different types of protections, right? Another two would be the life cycle of the asset itself and the level of protections. So in this talk, I will go into how we can model our security, information security from the perspective of information assets. So first of all, I like to look into information's properties, right? For sure, information has properties, right? And these properties is actually the intelligence within information, something that's called intelligible, right? Without having access to these properties, normally the information is of no use, right? So what we're trying to avoid is from hackers or crackers to get access to our information properties. And this property shall not be disclosed, altered, or distracted by adversary, because we want to maintain the usefulness or the relevancy of our information as we discussed earlier. And the property shall be maintained whether information is in storage or during the process or during transmission, as we have seen before. The property shall be intact whether the information is still in our safeguard or even after it has been stolen. I'm going to give you an example, right? Let's say our information has been stolen. I mean, bad guys already have their hand onto our information. Still, we want to make sure that our information is intact. Our information is not understood by bad guys. How are we going to do that? Okay, we have something like cryptography, if you ever heard of that, right? I mean, the thieves can get their hand to our information, still they will not be able to understand what's inside the information, because we do some scrambling to the code, to the information and so on. And the secondly is the information host. This is something comparable to a mention here. In our case, information host is our computer, right? Protecting properties of our information asset alone may not be enough. Sometimes adversary may get their hand to our computer and somehow they will manage to break the codes. I mean, if let's say if we use cryptography to secure the property of our information, is it still possible that some good cryptographer to break the codes? So other than securing our information or information's properties alone, we should also secure information host. In that case, our computer. Before an enemy can get hold to our asset at the outer layer, we must provide another layer of protection. In that case, we protect our house. We protect our computer from being accessed to the bad guys. The last one is the information perimeter, which is comparable to the security gates here. I mean, we have a security gates here who take care of who can access or who can go out from this place, right? So basically, this is another, or you can say this is the third layer of security, right, that we have. So, I mean, if we try to model using C codes, basically information, we try to protect a few attributes like confidentiality, integrity, and availability. We want to make sure that our information remain confidential, right? And we want to make sure that our information is not being tampered, it's not being changed or modified. And we want to make sure that information is always available 24 hours. For example, if you are running some online shopping, then you just want to make sure that people, customers can access your website at any time. And the second one is the host information. For the host, we want to make sure that only the person that is allowed to get into your computer can get into your computer. You don't want bad guys to be able to access. How are you going to do that? You will have some identifications. And normally we assign identifications like usernames. And then from this username, you're going to have a password, which you will use to authenticate yourself whenever you want to access certain PCs or computer. And once you got access into the computer, there's another thing called authorization. You may be able to access, but you are not allowed to read it, but without authorization. So if you have enough authorization level, you may be able to read only, not change it. I mean, these are the type of thing that's been going on with accessibility, or they call it ACL, access control list. And the last one is the perimeter. What do we do with perimeter? We have 4 different functions, which is one to protect, to detect, to react, and to deter. This is 4 different functions, or 4 different items that we have to introduce to our perimeters, right? First, we have to protect our perimeter from being compromised. Second, if a hacker's already broken into our perimeter, we have to be able to detect, right? They cannot remain undetected. We have to detect them. And then if the damage is already done, then we have to react, pull the plug, disable this, disable that. And the most important thing is, if we can avoid, if we can try to prevent people from trying to break into our systems or our networks by deterrence. Deterrence is a way of preventing. For example, you put a sign, trespassing will be prosecuted. This is one type of deterrent, because you try to prevent people from, you try to change people from, initially they want to break into your home, but then once they read this, they will change their mind. For example, you can see this in a library normally, because if you want to use a library computer, normally whenever you logged in, they will have short policies like if you do something bad with this computer, you will be maybe charged, or you can be sued, or something like that. All right, from the infrastructure security, we can summarize. This is the summary of the model, actually. We have information itself. We have the access, which is to our host. We have the perimeter, which is our network. And the small, the small items here, like protection, deterrence, reaction, and so on and so forth. These are the types of things that we have to consider whenever we develop our security solutions. All right, this may be my last slide. So after we have seen the detailed model of our information security, so we can try to think of what kind of solution that we want to provide, right? So, for example, to secure the property, we have CIA, we have confidentiality, integrity, the availability. This is the three properties that we want to retain on our information. So, how can we retain these properties? So, somebody think about, okay, cryptography. We can use cryptography to maintain confidentiality, for example. So, they will use cryptography. And then on the second one, let's say to secure the access to your host. How are we going to do that? And then they come out with a model called NTK. Need to know. Only people who need to know that information can access the computer. This is another model. Or maybe somebody use ACL, access control list. And on the other hand, for the perimeter, for example, they have PDRD, protection, detection, reaction, and deterrence. Right. So what kind of solution they want to come out to protect perimeter? Maybe they come out with for protection, they have intrusion prevention, or maybe firewalls. For detection, they have intrusion detections, right? For reaction, maybe they have, I don't know, some tools from forensics, for example, right? For deterrence, maybe they come out with policy, right? So after we have a good understanding of the model, the whole information security, then from there we could think of, okay, how are we gonna solve this? I mean, we understand the problem fully, or at least, I mean, as much as we could, or as much as we need to understand, and then from there, we can come out with solutions. This is how actually it works in information security world. I mean, we have a problems and we model it, and then we try to think of solutions. And this solution it's not only technical solutions. I mean, it's not only about biometric, it's not only about stenography or cryptography. It's also about managerial solutions. For example, we have security policy, right? We have a risk management. We have security education, awareness, and training, right? Yeah. Or maybe on the government level, we have laws, ethics, and stuff, right? And the government also have a national cybersecurity policy, or some government call it national cybersecurity strategy, which works on different layers of the ownerships of the assets, right? So I think this is all about my talk today. What I try to do is try to break down how actually we should model our information security, so that from there we can think of how we can solve this, right? I mean, there are other way of modeling this, at least another 2 ways of modeling this. From there, maybe if you model from different, if you look from different perspective, you may be able to come out with different solutions, right? So it is very important to understand the very detail of this if we are interested into information security. I think it is of no questions. I mean, we, like it or not, we have to be interested in information security because it is a part of our information, our IR 4.0. Okay, with that, I think I would end my my talk today with Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. If you have any question, please, I'll be around for a while. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum. Back to you, Miss Chairperson. Back to you, Miss Chairperson. Or maybe we're gonna have a Q&A. I mean, I don't know, for a few minutes, or maybe they're gonna wait for a few minutes. I don't know. But basically, I'm done with my presentation today. So I'll give it back to the chairperson. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Alvendi, for your interesting presentation about revisiting the information security model. And I agree with that statement that the information is power, and they who control information and its flow control the world. So we need to protect our valuable information. And before the enemy can get hold to our assets at the outer layer, we must provide another layer of protection. Once again, thank you very much for Mr. Alvendi for the great presentation. And now we are moving to Q&A session in the first session. As I promised before, I will bring your question in the chat box in this session, but now I cannot find any question in the chat box. So today I'll give you time for the audience to ask the speaker directly by open up your camera and activate your microphone. So yes, please, anyone? For the audience, want to ask for the first speaker and the second speaker. All right, any question? If you are shy to ask the speaker by open up your camera or ask directly to the speaker, so you may leave the question in the chat box and we will discuss it and I read the question for you. All right, maybe the explanation from our keynote speakers is very clear for us. So once again, thank you for Professor Puspaliza and Mr. Avendi who has been shared the informative presentation. All right, thank you, Prof. Liza, and thank you, Mr. Avendi.
Okay, thank you very much for the conference. It's a great conference. Okay.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's very interesting experience for me. Thank you.
You are very welcome, Mr. Avendi, Prof. Liza.
I hope next year we'll be face to face.
All right.
Yes, yes, right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, actually, this is the end of the first session, but please don't go anywhere. I hope you are still excited with this conference because after this, we still have the second session, which will be no less interesting. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we are moving to the next session, we will present to you a traditional dance performed by Sendratasi students of Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya. This is Creation Dance of Love. ranking based on worldwide citation impact. He is ranked 19 in computer science and the first in mathematics in the top 500 world scientist rankings. He has delivered several keynote addresses on nonlinear control system, chaos theory, and scientific computing in IEEE international conferences. He has active research collaboration with scientists from Indonesia, Malaysia, Algeria, China, Taiwan, Tunisia, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Spain, Morocco, and many countries. That's very great, sir. So, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Professor Dr. Sundara Pandian Vidyanathan. All right, Prof, you have 30 minutes for presentation. Time is yours. Excuse me, Prof. Sundar, you're still mute. Your microphone.
Yes, I just turned on. I hope. Good morning, all. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear your voice very well.
Okay. I first good morning to all. I thank the organizers of ICComSET 2020 Indonesia International Conference. I will use my 30 minutes time to deliver new results and recent research applications in the areas chaos control and engineering applications. My talk will be of interest to science and engineering audience. Good morning all. I hope that you will find the information in my talk very useful and also interesting. Okay, let us begin the talk. The title of my presentation is Chaos Control and Engineering Applications. I will present just one paper that I recently published with my very good friend and a great research collaborator, Achang Sambos from Indonesia. I go to next slide. Okay. This is a research scientist award I got from my minister, Prakash Javadekar, for my research in computer science. I got this award in March 2018. I like to share this information. In the ranking of computer scientists in the world, I am ranked 219, world rank 219, and the India rank 1. And my H index is 98. I work in Tech University, and I have active research collaboration with Indonesia and Malaysia more than any other country, especially Indonesia. I authored more papers jointly with my Indonesian friend Achang Sambas, more than any other author. So I have great research tie-up collaboration with Indonesia, and I take a very great pleasure in giving this talk in Indonesia conference. My Scopus Skyward field-weighted citation impact ranking is 1 in mathematics, and you can understand that my work in mathematics is getting good citations, and that's how I got this rank, and I hope to retain this rank in future years. In computer science, I have the world rank 19 according to the Scopus Skyward field-weighted citation index ranking. We move on. It's very interesting to share this latest honor with you. Stanford Research Study USA released just 2 months ago in October 2020 a rank list of top 2% scientists in different fields in science, engineering, so many areas, physics, chemistry, biotechnology, agriculture, lot of areas. And they have a top 10 list. Some areas they have identified scientists who are in the top 10 of the top 2% scientists globally. Complete research all along the history. I'm very glad that in the area of artificial intelligence and image processing, I have the world rank 10. And this got published in a newspaper, Times of India in India. I'm sharing this newspaper clipping with you. I'm very glad to have this latest honor, October 2020, this year only, just 2 months ago. Okay, friends, now we get to business, namely today's talk, chaos theory and the engineering applications. I will first brief on some introduction about this field. Okay, this will be known to many researchers, maybe a new area for some other researchers. You can ask Atten some boss. He is one of the bosses in this area. He has a lot of research papers with me. I don't know how many, maybe around 100 or nearly 100, which is a huge number. So a brief introduction to this field and also some of the famous chaotic systems like the Lorentz system. Then I will focus on the IEEE paper, a very good journal with the impact factor about 3, I guess, 3 or more, I'm not very sure, maybe 2 plus or 3 plus. That journal IEEE Access, a recent paper I will share with you. Then I conclude with applications. Okay, I expect to take 25 to 30 minutes only. I have a watch with me. I keep an eye on time. If I take time, you give me a signal 5 minutes or 10 minutes before, and I will wind up my. But I will definitely need some time to give a summary of the IEEE paper. That is my focus. Therefore, I will quickly go through the preliminaries. Introduction to chaos theory. Dear friends, in a very simple language, chaotic systems are nonlinear dynamical systems. I am very sure you must be knowing about ordinary differential equations. Chaos is also there in partial differential equations, but it is even more complicated. In this talk, we focus on system of ordinary differential equations, which are nonlinear. And chaos is characterized by highly sensitive to initial conditions, and we call it a butterfly effect in a very simple language. Friends, you take an initial condition, okay, you plot the trajectory, you get some results in MATLAB. You give a small perturbation, you look at a nearby initial state and plot the trajectory. If you see that they are totally different, such a system will be called a chaotic system in a very simple mathematical language. Of course, to publish a research paper, we have to calculate something called the Lyapunov exponent. That gives a characterization of this sensitivity to initial conditions. Okay? If the Lyapunov exponents are all negative, it means it is a very good stable system, not sensitive at all. On the other hand, if there is a positive Lyapunov exponent, it means that the system is chaos. That means it is very sensitive to initial conditions. Small perturbations, small changes in the initial conditions can give rise to rapidly different state trajectories. Interestingly, this complexity is what makes chaos theory very interesting. In areas like secure communication devices, you do internet banking, okay? You do mobile banking. You want your data to be very safe. You don't want anybody to hack your data. You don't want anybody to break into the banking or any army defense. Okay, that systems must be very safe from intrusion. For those kind of applications, we enhance the signals with the chaos. If your system is offline all the time, it is very safe. no intruder at all, but no point in having an offline system all the time. Definitely for any practical application like banking or other applications, we should have online along with the internet. Therefore, we have to have security in the system, and that is one of the important applications of IoT. And my Stanford award related to image processing is due to my research papers. Like I have authored many papers in steganography, generating pseudo-random numbers, generators, sound encryption, image encryption, video encryption. I have not done. It requires a lot of computational aspects, but sound encryption and image encryption I have done in many papers. So it will take me 1 hour time to explain all these areas, because I have myself contributed research papers in all these areas. But to give a brief outline only in just a few minutes, some of the broad categories where chaos theory finds applications are engineering, mechanical, chemical, robotics. Interestingly, Achan Sambas has done some work with chaos in his doctorate. He sees how much areas can a robo can cover using the chaos theory, and we showed that using chaotic signals, the robo can cover a lot of areas. Many applications are there. Computers, communications, medicine, biology, management, stock marketing, finance. Of course, friends, I am not such an expert in economic forecasting, market and all. But I am glad to say that we have many papers, including a paper for this conference on the finance chaotic system. You may read my paper in the proceedings. About my research, we have certain numbers. I have many papers in the finance chaotic system, and we published in a book, a Springer book, some chapters, and one journal called Nonlinear Engineering, which is a very good focused journal. We have some papers. Now I give another brief introduction into chaotic systems in just a few minutes. I have already explained what is a chaotic system. That is, it has high sensitivity to initial conditions. Chaos theory can be modeled either using physical conditions, a physical real system that comes in weather modeling, ocean modeling, and all. Interestingly, a very good paper I wrote with Achan Sambas related to ocean waves. This we published in ICComSET, simulation and process modeling, a hyperchaotic temperature system. It is a physical natural system. Those systems have a lot of value. Or mathematical model. I repeat, chaotic systems can be either physical or chemical, biological, ecological, such system, or finance system, real system, or a mathematical system. Yeah, we have done research in more. Naturally, mathematical systems are a lot more in number compared to the physical system. I have already explained all the content of this slide. The real check is that the system should have a positive Lyapunov mathematical condition, and it has a wide range of applications. I explained the content in this slide, so I skip this. We move into the next. Dear friends, this is famous, most cited, most famous chaotic system is the famous Lawrence model. He is an American. He is the father of modern chaos theory. Okay, it is a three-dimensional system. Actually, the Lorentz system is a set of partial differential equations only. It's a fluid dynamics model. And he approximated the PDE with the ODE, and this approximation is called the Lorentz model for weather prediction, or we can call it atmospheric convection data. These parameters have some physical meaning. 3 states, X, Y, Z, they denote the properties of a fluid layer. X corresponds to convection, Y corresponds to horizontal temperature variation, and Z corresponds to vertical temperature variation. Lorentz model. and they are physical constants. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this model because the Lorentz system is a famous system. Around 100 or 200 papers have already come explaining the physical properties, mathematical analysis and all. Mechanically it is a dissipative system. Dissipative system means that the energy decreases and you have a beautiful chaotic attractor, and it is also called a butterfly attractor. If you plot the trajectory of the Lorentz system, we will get a two-scroll attractor or a butterfly attractor. So these are some of the phase portraits. This is a three-dimensional. What we have plotted is we have taken some initial state like 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. We integrated the system for about 500 seconds. We plotted X, Y, Z, X versus Y versus Z in a three-dimensional MATLAB plot, and you can see that the Lorentz attractor has the shape of the two wings of a butterfly. Therefore, it is called a butterfly attractor or two-wing attractor or two-scroll attractor. And all. These portraits clearly indicate a chaotic property, a highly complex property. If some friends ask if the system is stable or unstable, what are the properties? Lorentz system is bounded. As I said, it's a dissipative system. The trajectories are bounded, but origin is an equilibrium which is unstable. Okay, so therefore the Lorentz system is unstable at the origin. The initial conditions nearby diverge, but they converge to the attractor. That's why it is called an attractor. So it is a bounded system, bounded by the attractor. So these are some of the two-dimensional phase portraits, XY portrait, YZ projection of the Lorentz attractor. Now I take 15 minutes to give the main results of my talk. I will complete in the next 15 minutes time. It's a very recent IEEE paper. This paper got published in IEEE Access Scopus SCI journal in the October 2000. Sorry, there is a typing mistake. I'm very sorry about the typing mistake. Please read as October 2020. So I request the conference organizers to make a correction in the PowerPoint slide later on. I shared this slide, so there's a small typo. Volume 8, 2020, and the title of the paper is, you can read, a three-dimensional multi-stable system with a peanut-shaped equilibrium curve. We have done the circuit design, FPGA realization, and an application to image encryption. The details of the image encryption application take a lot of time for me to explain. Therefore, I have skipped that from this presentation. Acham Sambas is the first author. I am very proud to say that. He is from the Tasik Malaya University, Indonesia. He is my very good friend. Umtas. And I am the second author for this paper, and we have a galaxy of authors from Mexico, Egypt, and Malaysia also, I guess. So, galaxy of authors. We proceed to next. So, this is the dynamics of our new system, friends. The slide correctly marks the year as 2020. A new three-dimensional chaotic system. This is the dynamics. It's a mathematical model. And for this system, you can see in the second dynamics, x dot, y dot, z dot means dx by dt, dy by dt, dz by dt. Okay, they are the first order time derivatives. A and B are two parameters for this nonlinear model. Of course, you can see a lot of nonlinearities, x squared, y squared, absolute value of x. The second dynamics has 3 nonlinearities. So totally 6 nonlinearities for this system. It's a very complex system, and a simple calculation shows if you find the rest points or the equilibrium points, you equate the right hand side to 0 and calculate. If you equate the right hand side to 0, first z is equal to 0. Okay? So we are in the xy plane. In the xy plane where z is 0, the equilibrium curve is given by this equation. X squared plus y squared minus mod x minus 1 is 0. Therefore, the equilibrium curve lies on the xy plane. It is given by the equation z is 0. We plotted this equilibrium curve. And this is a MATLAB plot of the equilibrium curve, and very interesting to see that this equilibrium curve has the shape of a peanut. If you travel in Malaysian Airlines, as soon as you board the flight, they give you this beautiful peanut. Of course, I miss traveling a lot due to this coronavirus. All my travel has come to complete stop. I did not go anywhere in 2020. I don't know about the next year. So this equilibrium curve is peanut shaped equilibrium curve. This is our new contribution. Dear friends, these are the two-dimensional signal plots of the, this chaotic system. I show you the two-dimensional plots, x versus y, y versus z, z versus x, and all. This is one of the plot. You can see that the system is chaotic. This is y-z plot. This also shows that our system, new system, is chaotic. Very different from the Lorentz system. Okay, that is another interesting thing. So this is x-z projection. This is one of the popular paper in IEEE Access. Our paper has been read by Open Access Journal. Our paper has been read by so many others and also getting very good citations. We hope that when we meet next, I will share with you how many people have cited this paper. It is becoming very popular. Achen Sambas from Indonesia, UNTAS University, has done a beautiful circuit design of this system. The system is also modeled by him. I did dynamic analysis for this system. I thought I included the slides, but somehow I don't see. So maybe I forgot to include. I have done some analysis. So we do a scaling of the system, and we have this variable. Okay, sorry. As I said, we have done analysis, and these are the phase plots of the system for different parameters. So the system is chaotic for A is equal to 12, B is equal to 2. As we vary the parameter values, we have different beautiful colors. This shows the complexity of the system. And our system is also multi-stable. So we, in this slide, we varied the parameter. In this slide, what we do is we fix the parameter value. Parameter values are fixed, but we change the initial conditions. As you can see from these three figures, parameters are fixed, initial conditions are varied. You see totally three different plots. Such a system is called multi-stable system. We have different coexisting chaotic attractors for different initial conditions, but for the same parameter. This is a very special property, and we showed with the help from a Chinese professor, Shobo He. Professor Shobo He is a very senior professor. He helped our research, and especially these professors. This is the correct slide. The circuit design, it was beautifully done by my friend Achen Sambas. Calculations and scaling of the variables using Kirchhoff's current circuit laws, Kirchhoff's voltage laws, the model circuit equivalent of our mathematical system. And this is the multi-sim block diagram. As you can see, research, we took a great time to write this paper, and this is an excellent circuit design carried out by good friend Achen Sambas, multi-sim version 13, multi-sim version 13, we built a multi-sim circuit design for this. And this is experimental validation of our result. Whatever results that we got in MATLAB, these plots I showed you, these three plots, this plot, and this plot in MATLAB. We get identical plots using the circuit design in multi-sim. So this is the XY plot, very similar to the MATLAB plot. This is the YZ plot. I just showed you the MATLAB plot. They are very identical. This is the XZ plot. So we have done a circuit design. What is the importance of this? You see, friends, after this we have to build a physical circuit. We have done the multi-sim model. the next step to do is to actually build a physical circuit for this. And due to the coronavirus time, our team could not find that much time to go to lab and actually build the. We have some real life problems. That's why we could not do a real circuit. But we have done a computer validation using the multi-sim software. So for actual real life implementation, we have to build a real circuit and carry. And another way of implementing our system is using FPGA, Field Programmable Gate Array. In the digital world, FPGA models are very, very important. So we have to implement a discrete time model. Please note that the FPGA model requires a discretization. Therefore, we have used two methods. Forward Euler method is one method. We have also used the Runge-Kutta method. We used both methods. This slide shows the forward Euler method. Block diagram shows you. It's a first order approximation of forward Euler scheme using adder, subtractor, multiplier blocks and the numerical scheme. We discretized and then implemented the discrete time system using field programmable gate array. We could not do the X, Y, Y, Z, ZX plot due to our limitations. Therefore, we have the time series plot. What is this? This is the time series for the X signal. This matches with the MATLAB plot. Time series for the Y signal and also time series for the Z signal. Therefore, we have done the time series for the three signals using FPGA. We have also done some results for the image encryption in our IEEE Access paper. I'm totally skipping all the details due to my time limitation. I have given you the reference to our paper. Okay, it's an open access journal. Therefore, those who are interested in reading our paper, the image encryption application and the FPGA realization, you can read our paper in the open access journal, volume 8. I have given the reference. Now I will conclude my talk quickly. In the next few minutes, I will conclude. So the various applications of chaos theory are, friends, image encryption, sound encryption, video encryption is also there, but I have not seen many papers. There may be some papers, but the computational difficulty is what prevents us from having too many papers of chaos applications. Video encryption. Theoretically, it can be done. Pseudo random number generators, PRNG, steganography. Steganography means that encoding the watermark or such signal along with the picture. So that is one of the briefly steganography. Secure communication, of course, internet banking and all. There are so many secure communication devices you can think of. Basically, we have a transmitter, we have a receiver. Okay, two antennas. You can imagine transmitter antenna, receiver antenna. The signals transmitted through the transmitter are received safely without any intrusion in the receiver antenna. How it is done? If you encode the transmitting signal with a chaotic signal, if you decode it along with a chaotic signal, it will be free from antenna. That is important. Hard for the intruder from China to hack such a model. That is the usefulness of chaotic. People sometimes use the number theoretic keys. It was very popular, even popular now. But the Chinese hackers break the number keys. But on the other hand, there is some system called the hyperchaotic system that I did not go through. If you encode with a hyperchaotic signal, the complexity is even more. Very, very hard for the hacker to do. FPGA memory steal system. Okay, this is called fourth circuit element developed by Professor Cha from USA. I don't know from USA. I think he works in USA, if I am correct. California University. I guess Professor Cha contributed a lot to memory state. Some of my books with this I conclude: Advances and Applications in Chaotic Systems, published in Springer in 2017. This year, I was so busy in writing chapters for this book, Backstepping Control of Nonlinear Dynamical Systems. It's It's a very popular control technique. In future, I will give a special talk on backstepping control. My friend Achan Sambas and I published about 10 to 12 papers. I'm not very sure about how many, but at least 10 I remember. 10 papers in this. This is indexed in Science Direct. That's all, friends. I want to finish my talk on time. I thank you all. So if you have time, you can ask me any questions related to my talk in my research area, and I shall be very glad to answer your questions. I thank the organizers for me. I thank you for silently listening to my talk with interest and attention. Thank you. Any questions?
Okay. Ada suaranya? All right. Well, thank you very much, Professor Sundara Pandian, for such excellent presentation about chaos control and engineering application. For the audience, if you have any questions about this topic, please be sure to write your question in the chat box. Then we will discuss it after the last speaker finished her presentation. Therefore, I need your permission, Prof, to continue the program to the next speaker. Is it okay, Prof? All right.
Yes, perfectly all right. I wish the conference all the best. I request all participants to enjoy this conference. Thank you all.
All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to the next speaker, we have Professor Dr. Anna Permanasari, MSc, and she will delivering her presentation about STEM education for green life. Professor Dr. Anna Permanasari, MSc, is the Vice Director for Academic and Student Affairs of the School of Postgraduate Studies, Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia. The area of expertise is education, especially on science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and education for sustainable development, or STEM or ESD education. She received a doctoral degree in chemistry, Institute Teknologi Bandung, and her research experiences are about STEM education, STEM ESD, low carbon education, and teaching-based learning analysis. All right, Prof. Anna has joined with us. So now please welcome Prof. Anna Permanasari, MSc, to deliver her presentation entitled STEM Education for Green Life. You have 30 minutes, Prof. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Meliana. Yeah, thank you, Meliana. Saya sangat senang diundang hadir dalam konferensi ini. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning to all of you. Thank you for allowing me to present my research on STEM education. But actually, my doctorate degree, as Meliana said, is from chemistry, especially in analytical chemistry. But I'm now responsible in developing chemistry and science education. So I want to speak about education side, and my research is also on it. So at this end session, we move from the very beautiful equations, very beautiful formulas, to the easier and enjoyable one. Yeah. So in this session, let me talk about how education contributes to the green life, to the green world, and to the green technology. Please let me share the presentation first. Is my voice clear? How about my voice? Is it clear?
Yes, your voice is clear.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. Here is my presentation entitled STEM Education for Green Life. Ladies and gentlemen, here our world now. We are already know that we are living in a world which full of disruption. Industrial Revolution 4.0 make our world, our life being volatile. Volatile means easy to change. So it will lead to the uncertainty in every aspect of life. Very complex life as well as full of ambiguity. In one time we think that our perception about one thing is right, but in other time we become uncertain and not sure about the same thing. So this is VUCA world. This VUCA, if we leave it without effort, it will be the source of the destruction of our world as well as our society. So the point is, how can we survive in this uncertainty world? How we staying positive in VUCA world? By the reasons, United Nations on 2018, I think, yeah, made at least 17 goals to make our world sustain. Some goals include zero hunger, no poverty, peace and justice, education, and climate action. But from all of 17 goals, we believe that education is the most decisive point in achieving the goals for sustainability development. Moreover, education will keep our world green. Through education, industries thrive on the principle of preserving the environment and human welfare. At the time, good education will lead to the achievement of others' 16 goals. Yeah. So the next point is how education is directed to. Education is not only for enhancing general goals of education. For example, science education is only for understanding science. But it should dedicate to some goals in 17 goals of ESD, yeah, such as life skills, higher order thinking skills, problem solving skills, entrepreneurships, and other new way literacy such as mankind literacy, data literacy, and technological literacy. If we do the education like this is meant that we do the education for sustainability development. So let's come closer into the concrete sides of education. This is about learning at the classroom. The deeper question is how we can do the learning. In current era, we have to focus the learning not only to content or subjects, but we also have put our concerns to skill developments such as core competencies, core competencies, critical thinking, creative thinking, collaboration and communication, and multi.
Dari rumah menjelang kantor tadi loh. Kantor tak nyalakan tuh kalau mau mati yuk.
Sorry, please mute LPPM Umtas.
Diajarkan siksa.
Yeah, you can mute, please, because it's disturb me. Yeah. Still unmute, Miss.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, but it disturbed me, the voice. Okay. And of course, we also have to put concern to the attitude or value aspects, such as responsibility, respect to each other, and environmental awareness. Our Ministry of Education recommends models and approach as well as media to use in learning, such as project-based learning, problem-based learning, discovery learnings as models on using inquiry approach. The other approaches are also recommended, such as contextual teaching and learning, socio-scientific issues, and multidiscipline for multi-literacy. ICT-based learning is also recommended as a media, responding to globalization and technology development. One of learning approach that currently being popular in recently 5 years to accommodate progress of century is STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. STEM learning can be applied in science learning as well as in engineering, technology, and mathematics learning. The philosophy of STEM learning is that education must be able to connect technological and industrial progresses with learning in the classroom, including advance in science education. Implementing STEM means integrating science, technology, engineering, and mathematics for the meaningful learning. STEM learning makes students become expert in interpreting the role of technology through interpreting science, engineering, and mathematics as tools. So, STEM shapes students into society who are able to face globalization successfully. So, here is steps of STEM learning. Steps of STEM learning include two main processes such as inquiry processes and engineering design processes. It's called EDP. In inquiry process, students post into the problem, real problem that should be solved by students. To solve the problem, they have to seek the related science concepts. Through their understanding the concept, they can find the way to solve the problem through the alternative solutions. In EDP, engineering design process, students need to find for the design to solve the problem with designing the prototype, testing it, and revising it as the other factors. In a brief, we can say that in STEM learning, students learn science to make a design of technological product on using math as a tool to make the product works. In Indonesia, STEM learning has already introduced since 5 or 6 years ago, but is still very limited in implementation at the classroom. For the more information about the perspective and implementation of STEM learning at school in science subject, we have done periods of survey research. With the random design, we do the survey to elaborate the science teacher understanding towards STEM. We use Google Form to distribute the questionnaires and got 100 respondents with the various backgrounds such as gender, education, and teaching experience. In general, most of respondents, most of science teachers show a good understanding towards STEM. They all state that STEM is learning science with integrated science concepts into the engineering, technology, as well as mathematics. They also say that learning science with STEM makes students felt the meaningful of learning science, and they believe that learning science will lead to four competencies. So that all of the abstraction of the teacher perspective on STEM. But teachers who have implemented learning with STEM complain for several things. They said that the STEM learning require longer time than usual. So they also complain about the lack of facilities and infrastructure at the schools. They are also saying that students still not be familiar with using STEM approaches because of implementing STEM approach at school. It's not as frequently as enough. So I see this is because of not all of teachers are familiar also with STEM learning. But there are some challenges proposed by teachers. The first challenge is teachers say that making STEM learning, making science learning more fun because students doing so many activities there. Yeah, students will get understanding on science from various perspectives. That's the next challenge is students can associate the knowledge they have with the problems around them so that the knowledge obtained is more meaningful. And the last one, students can understand, can make a linkage among science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So this is the problems and challenge faced by the student. Relating to the green technology and green life, STEM education can also contribute through the green STEM learning. So here is the example. Yeah, here is one example of how to arrange the STEM learning for green life, for green technology. So the term is about separating solid waste content of plastics and metals. So the mix of iron and other metals, iron, plastic, and other metals is come usually from toys waste. Yeah. So the problem posed by teacher is how can we separate plastics, iron, and other metals? So this is the problem posing by teachers. Yeah. Okay. Along the learning, students ask and guided into the inquiry processes to gain the concepts needed to answer the question, such as what is plastic made from, what is the physical properties of plastics, iron, and other metals. So they will be leaded to make a design of separator. Yeah, this is a kind of separators that have to design by student. Yeah, teacher and then provide some basic separators such as here funnel, electric sprayer, temporary magnet, and chambers, 3 chambers. Yeah, this is some apparatus that teacher provides. But teacher allowing student to add some more apparatus that students think it is needed to complete the design. So here is the pre-design of students' work. Yeah, this is only pre-design. Yeah, jadi so they make a notes. Yeah, in a group. Yeah, so they present the design, the pre-design, and then after that they revise the pre-design into the better design. Yeah. So if the mixer is come out from the funnel, yeah, the concept is the chips will be blown and come into the chambers, yeah. Okay. Iron chips metal, yeah, iron chips will fall into the first chamber to the closed chambers because iron is attracted by magnets. Yeah, the second one, the other metals, will fall into the middle one, and plastic chips, because it is very light, it will blow away and fall into the last chamber. So this is the principles of the work separators. So here in the pre-design produced by one group is, in the second one is a very more creative idea. They use a conveyor belt to slow down the rate of mixtures comes from the funnel. So they move funnel, yeah, at the top of the belt, yeah, and then the same thing is similar with in the first design, yeah, but with the slow motion of the mixture. Yeah, they use tires and engine from toys car. Yeah, they are inspired by the conveyor belt using in some videos they watch before. Yeah, in the video. So I think this is the better one. The second pre-design is better one because they use the new idea. Yeah, on using conveyor belts. That's the good one. So this is the technological literacy they have found because they are know well about the concepts of science itself. So the point is how strong the fan should be applied. So it's based on the calculation. The calculation of the power should be applied into the fan when the fan is work. Yeah, so that's the mathematics sides of STEM learning. So the concept behind the project is, the first one is about plastics. Plastic is a polymer. Polymer is a very kind, so many, what is it? So many plastics we have known, yeah, polyphenol chloride, polyethylene, and others. So student will find the plastic, yeah, the types of plastics. Yeah, they have to know about types of plastics first. They have to know the properties of plastics itself. And also they have to know that iron can be attracted by magnet, but not for other metals, because the properties of iron is lead. Yeah, they'll also know about the waste management. 3R: reduce, reuse, and recycle. And then they have to know that how much power of the fan or sprayer that should be applied so the materials can enter into the right chambers. So this is the concepts behind the projects. Yeah, so this is the example STEM learning, yeah, for green science. So STEM learning is not only to produce technological products, but also the other kinds of products. Yeah, for example, this is one example of STEM learning with the other kind of project, not technological product. Yeah, find for the green chemical reaction to be examined. Yeah, so students will do seeking the safe chemicals. Yeah, they can come to the Google. Yeah, they can come to the textbook. Yeah, find for the safe chemicals that can be react. Yeah, the next they can choose, yeah, the possible reaction, and they can calculate the amount of chemical used in the reaction. After that, they develop the work instruction. Yeah, and then they have to test and evaluate the work instruction, revising and communicating it. So the product in this STEM learning is the work instruction. This is not technological product, but also this is the product that can be achieved in STEM learning. So this is some green STEM project activities in science, and this is still in our research. Yeah, the first one is waste management. Yeah, investigating the best charcoal to be implemented in water purification. And the second one is about drying fish. Yeah, this is about a climate change project, creating a tools with energy efficient for drying a fish. Yeah, the next one is about ecological knowledge. The project is creating a house for coastal area which has integrating with both dock. Yeah, the next one is about energy conservation, creating the best source for both consider with renewable energy. And the last one is about environmental conservation. Environmental conservation projects such as water flow indicator or water supply for farming. I think those 5 projects can be implemented at school as based on green STEM learning. Now we can come to the conclusion. The first one is education is the key to reach the sustainability development goals. Yeah, education put the concern to the multiliteracy, lifelong learning, higher order thinking skills, and problem-solving skills. STEM learning is one of the learning approach to be considered as a multidiscipline and multi-literacy approach. And the last one is STEM learning with green projects can contribute to the green life as it is stated by the theme of our conference today. Okay, this is all. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
All right. Thank you very much, Prof. Anna, for very insightful presentation. She shared how the education can contribute in green life. So it's very interesting. We are in the VUCA world: volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So to survive in this world, we need education for sustainable development. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the presentation for our keynote speakers in the last session. Now we are moving to question and answer session. Firstly, I will give the opportunity for the audience to ask directly to the speakers. Anyone?
Yeah, I have a question from Murti Magna Pain. Yeah, from
All right, ma'am. If there is no question, if there is no, the audience want to ask directly for the speaker. So now I'll read the question from the chat box. The first is from Mrs. Murti Magnapani from Venus University. This question is addressed for Professor Anna. He said that I use social media as a media to enhance the students' environmental awareness. The students got a project to broadcast a campaign doing in a team. There will be several teams in one class using their social media. The question is, how can you explain this to your research?
Yeah.
Yes, question.
Okay, thank you, Murti. I think this is a great idea. This is also STEM education. Yeah, this is also STEM learning because they have to use STEM. They have to use science. Yeah, in perspective of what is it? What is it? Let me see the okay, for environmental awareness. That's good idea, yeah. So the student have to make a kind of design of project. Apa namanya? What is it? Designing the media, designing the multimedia. So designing multimedia means, yeah, they have to find for the science behind. They have to to make a kind of design of multimedia itself, and they have to product this after what is it, trying and error. I think this is STEM learning. So this is more what is it, more broad, yeah, broader than user, because you make it for campaign, yeah, to broadcast yeah, to every layers of society. I think that's better one. Not only STEMs, but is it also the STEM plus, yeah, STEM plus society. Yeah, jadi STEM plus society. I think that's better. Good to do.
Thank you for Prof. Anna for your explanation. And now I have already had a question addressed for Professor Sundara Pandian. Prof. Sundar, are you still with us now? Hello? All right, I guess Prof. Sundar has left this Zoom. So maybe this question will be conveyed to Prof. Sundar, and the answer will be sent you to Mr. Dadang Arifin by email. So I'm so sorry. So thank you for the explanation, Prof. Anna. All right, all questions had been answered by the keynote speaker. So for the audience, Please give a big round of applause for today's keynote speakers. I believe the speaker can hear the sounds of applause, although they are in different countries now, Indonesia, India, and Malaysia. Thank you very much.
Thank
So,
you.
finally, we come to the end part of the session. As you may not have noticed that the time's up already, I wish we could have more time to cover our topic. But now I think it's time to take the conclusion from what the speaker have presented in the first and last session. Um, Professor Puspaliza emphasized that the public has accepted new constructed model of Islamic unit trust. The aim is to fulfill the criterion of Islamic unit trust, which must be in line with Sharia laws and need to follow the process of purification of wealth. The acceptance of public on this new model shows the awareness of public on having an investment fund which is Sharia compliance. Meanwhile, Fendi emphasized that the world's most valuable research is no longer oil, but data. So we need to protect the valuable information. Information can be useful by converting into knowledge, intelligence. Information can create knowledge by correct use. It would create wealth. In addition, intelligence is the product of information. Professor Terapantian explained that chaotic systems are nonlinear dynamical systems that are highly sensitive to even small changes in the initial condition that known as butterfly effect, and it arises in a wider range of application in science and engineering. And the last conclusion is Professor Anna explained that education not only to learn general course, the education should direct it to problem-solving skills, entrepreneurship, hard systematic thinking, and learning, long life learning. Implementing STEM means integrating science, technology, engineering, and mathematics for meaningful learning, and it helps students in the society who are able to face globalization. And learning with Green Project can contribute to the green life. That is the conclusion for today's conference from our keynote speakers. So, Excellencies, participants, ladies and gentlemen, we had a series of very intriguing and informative presentation. And before we close the conference, I would like to inform you that after this, we will have video presentation session. So I remind you for all participants to make sure you have uploaded the video presentation to each participant's YouTube account. And in this great occasion, I would like to thank you to all the keynote speakers who have been delivered the interesting and inspiring. I'm sure it must be beneficial for us as an educator and researcher. Thank you for the hosts and co-hosts who have been supporting the event. Thank you for all committee of the third International Conference on Computer Science, Engineering and Technology 2020. Thank you for all participants for taking time out and being here today. Thank you for your attention. Please accept our apologies if there's some inconveniences. Thank you for participating in today's conference. We hope to see you again next time in the next event. Hatur nuhun, wilujeng tepang deui di acara salajengna. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hatur nuhun sadaya.
Waalaikumsalam.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat datang di kampus Estetik Bina Bangsa Get Sempena Banda Aceh. Kampus yang menghasilkan tenaga pendidik yang unggul, mandiri, dan religius yang mempunyai daya saing nasional dan internasional.
Pengumuman untuk seluruh peserta ICComSET 2020. Untuk sesi paralel akan dilaksanakan tepat jam 1 siang melalui sistem ICComSET di menu video presentation. Kami persilahkan kepada seluruh peserta untuk melihat video presenter lain dan berdiskusi melalui kolom komentar. Terima kasih.
Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya merupakan universitas terbaik di Priangan Timur. Berdasarkan peringkatan Dirjen Dikti Kemendikbud, Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya terdiri dari 3 fakultas dan 13 program studi. Semua program studi sudah terakreditasi BAN PT dan LAM PTKes, yaitu program studi D3 Keperawatan, D3 Kebidanan, S1 Keperawatan, S1 Bimbingan dan Konseling, S1 Pendidikan PGSD, S1 Pendidikan PG PAUD, S1 Pendidikan Teknologi Informasi, S1 Pendidikan Seni, Drama, Tari, dan Musik, S1 Teknik Elektro, S1 Teknik Mesin, S1 Teknik Pertambangan, dan S1 Teknik Lingkungan.
Selain memiliki kurikulum kekinian dan berorientasi masa depan, dan untuk mengasah kompetensi mahasiswa, UMTAS mempunyai laboratorium lengkap di setiap prodinya. UMTAS cerdas, berkualitas, dari lokal untuk global.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya Dr. Ahmad Konid Ali Daud MA, Rektor Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya. Alhamdulillah, kami Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya bersyukur kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, karena pada hari ini UMTAS menjelang tahun kelima dan akan menyelenggarakan wisuda angkatan kedua untuk mahasiswa Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya. Selama pembinaan Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya dalam rentang waktu 5 tahun ini, alhamdulillah apa-apa yang dilakukan oleh Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya mendapatkan respon yang positif dari seluruh stakeholder Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya. Di samping secara bertahap jumlah mahasiswa terus meningkat, juga alhamdulillah prestasi-prestasi yang diraih oleh Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya cukup menggembirakan. Peringkat akreditasi BAN PT 70% dari prodi-prodi yang ada di Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya sudah terakreditasi baik atau B. Nah, atas dasar kinerja para dosen, para mahasiswa, dan seluruh sivitas akademika dan sinergi dengan seluruh stakeholder, alhamdulillah Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya di tahun kelima ini berdasarkan rankingan dari kementerian, di tahun ini Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya mendapatkan ranking nasional yaitu 218 ranking nasional, dan untuk Priangan Timur di antara universitas baik negeri maupun swasta di Priangan Timur, Universitas Muhammadiyah adalah mendapatkan ranking yang pertama. Sedangkan di antara Universitas Muhammadiyah di Jawa Barat.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain. Kami dari STKIP Muhammadiyah Sampit sangat bersyukur kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala dan sangat berterima kasih dapat bergabung sebagai co-host dalam kegiatan ICComSET ketiga yang diselenggarakan oleh Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya. Kegiatan ini merupakan salah satu manifestasi dari salah satu catur dharma perguruan tinggi, yakni sebagai luaran atau publikasi hasil penelitian yang telah dilaksanakan oleh para dosen. Oleh karena itu, Kegiatan ini sangat bermanfaat bagi pengembangan ilmu pengetahuan dan teknologi. Kami mengajak kepada bapak-bapak dan ibu-ibu sekalian untuk bisa bersama-sama kita mengikuti dan menyimak paparan dari para narasumber dan menyaksikan video presentasi peserta dengan baik. Dan kami berharap semoga artikel para peserta dapat dipublikasikan pada proceeding internasional yang bereputasi. Demikian sambutan dari kami. Semoga kita senantiasa dalam lindungan Allah Subhanahu wa taala, Tuhan yang Maha Esa. Selamat berkonferensi. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Saat ini kita masih di Hotel Semarang, Visita Hotel Semarang. Kita akan menuju ke STI Bank PVJ Jateng, acara Kobamen 2021 ya. Mudah-mudahan acara ini bisa dilaksanakan. Ayo kita
ayat beda. Oh, kacang-kacang dulu. Cek.
Mudah-mudahan caranya sukses lancar. Yuk kita cek siapa tim yang berperan